they're on a mission. They've been on a mission. It seems as if that not that the window is closing for you to believe that I think it's one of those things where for the Clemson Tigers, like Dabo is more about just creating a culture than he is about what he's doing for himself. And I think that makes a really great head coach. Now, he's nowhere near a hot seat. He's nowhere on some list of candidates to get fired. He's nowhere, nothing like that. Nothing he could do. He could have a Florida State type of year this year. They're not going to fire him. I refuse to believe that. I mean, he's at Clemson until they put him in the ground or till he decides otherwise, right? I mean, it seems that way. I know as college football fans and as media, we definitely look at Clemson and we say, yeah, but what about those national championships? Number one, I would, in ways, make an argument about him possibly being, and I say possibly, and I use that term lightly because it's not a guarantee. I think current head coaches, it's Kirby Smart and Dabo, kind of 1A, 1B. I know that Kirby is, what, 2-0 against Dabo, which actually I do think head to head record means a lot. I will admit that. But I think, when you look at two national championships for both coaches, and then you look at what Dabo has done to win those championships, and both times beating Alabama, one of them by 28 points in a championship game, the worst loss for Nick Saban. I have the hardest time not necessarily putting Kirby ahead of Dabo, but it's very hard for me to say that Dabo's not the best current head coach. It's just kind of hard to imagine that being true, and it's hard to um I don't know, man. It's hard to come to grasp of that. When you look at this year's team too, obviously Cade Klubnik's the go-to starting quarterback. He's the head man. Uh, you got Phil Maffa has gone to the NFL now. Again, I forget where he's at necessarily, but they have a guy coming up in Jay Haynes. I hear that he is making a lot of great progress this off season. There's a lot to love on defense with Peter Woods and company. Um, I think that the depth and the talent is there at Clemson. I really do. I think that uh, this could be one of their better rosters since they won a national title. And I know what you're thinking. Well, they lost some guys and they bring guys back and they whatever. They did make the playoffs. They did make the playoffs. And I think that's fair to talk about. I really do. I just think that, with everything they got coming back, um, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to put. It's number one. I will say it's hard to put Clemson at the very top of college football this year as a favorite, like the go to favorite. But it's also very hard for me to be down on them. I think we could get to agreement on there. I really do. You also got to take a look at their schedule and everything. And, I've already previewed it, but I could still pull it up and we could talk about this. But I really think that week in and week out, if you just play your best, you can win a football game every single week. Now, are they going to go 15-0 or 16-0 or whatever they have to go for the playoffs? No, probably not. It's not going to be as special as 2018. That 2018 team going as the first modern era 15-0 team was very special for Clemson. And, I doubt that they'll be undefeated because it's very hard to do that. It's going to be hard to be champions and be undefeated. I mean, Ohio State won it this year in the first 12-team playoff, but they weren't necessarily like, undefeated, undoubted. They did lose to Michigan. They lost to Oregon that first time around. Here's Clemson's schedule, by the way. I don't see them going undefeated with this. I don't know where their loss would be, but like, okay, they host in a home and home with LSU. They got Troy. Don't sleep on the Trojans. I mean, they've given LSU fits and other big teams out there before. It's not a nobody. Georgia Tech on the road. Georgia Tech's on the up and up. Syracuse. Syracuse always gives Clemson trouble. At North Carolina, say whatever you want to about Bill Belichick and his girlfriend and all that, but you just, I mean, maybe he's going to silence the doubters. I don't think so. But again, back to back road games here, October 4th and October 11th. You're looking at going to Boston College, too, who I thought was a pretty decent team last year. SMU, playoff team. Duke, no. Florida State, mystery team. How bad or how good are they going to be? Is 2-10 a fluke last year? I don't know. At Louisville, that could be a challenge. Furman, no. At South Carolina, people expect South Carolina to possibly be on the radar for the college football playoff yet again with Lenora Sellers at the helm of quarterback. So this is a manageable and doable schedule. If I had to give losses right now, and I think I gave them these losses in the uh, I mean, they could easily go 11-1, I think. If they go 10-2, you're dropping maybe that Georgia Tech and South Carolina game. At this moment in time, forget what I previewed earlier in the spring. I home against LSU, it could go either way. Home field advantage for Clemson. I mean, you're talking about a very interesting schedule here, and ultimately, like I don't know, man. Clemson is definitely a a team to watch this year. I view them kind of as a not a playoff sleeper, but a national title sleeper. I think there's a big difference there. Like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs, but how far are they going to go? Can they win a title? Do they need a title just to get back to what I'm talking about? Do they need a title? Now, Dabo, again, not on any hot seat. And I got to hear from you guys in the comments. But is this that year that you say enough is enough, go win it all? Is this that year? Because they're supposed to have one of their better rosters in not like a decade or whatever, obviously, but probably one of their better rosters since they last won a national championship, or at least that 2019 season with LSU. Remember, LSU had to beat Clemson in the title game, and they had Justin Ross, they had Trevor Lawrence, they had ETN, they had all those guys back that won it in 2018. And they lost by only really 17 points against LSU that year. So this is probably going to be Clemson's best shot for another title. Now they're recruiting greatly. They are using the portal a little bit more. Dabo's kind of coming around on that, but at the same time, I think if there's any year to do it for Clemson, the time is now to go all in, as they would say in South Carolina. So this is the year in 2025 to win a title.